Hi everyone, how are you doing? Enjoying this awful heat? Not me. It is so hot. I think it's like, I forgot, 68, 69 outside, and my house is 80. It is so hot in here. Oh, I can't stand it. So, if you watch my video called Baby Meets Johnny, which was in the movie where the line said nobody puts baby in a corner, nobody guessed, so I'm not going to tell you. Yes, that's my new leaf I'm turning over. If not even one person guesses, I will not tell. It doesn't sound like me, and I would usually tell, but I'm too hot. Too hot. So if someone guesses, I shall tell. Anyhow. So this movie, a video that would continue on from that, kind of correlating, sort of, but not really, but whatever. This is the video. So go watch When Baby Met Johnny. I think it was like on a Saturday or Sunday, because I was thinking to do it. I don't know, I said I'd do it maybe the next day or the next week or whenever. I don't know. Anyhow, so now this is a story about when Sandie met Johnny. Ooh, this sounds juicy. I'd say it is. Sorry, I'm opening my water. My mouth is dry once again. Very juicy. Oh, yes, it's a juicy. It's so juicy, it could be moist. Why do the people on the internet not like the word moist? I was going to try to do an ASMR on that word, but I don't even know if ASMR is a thing. But anyhow, back to the rest of the story. So anyhow, long ago, in a city that still exists, there was a little girl who liked a little boy. The little boy lived next to her, and the little girl was me. And those who've been around remember I told you about in my teenage years that my mom wouldn't let me go out. You know, I wasn't allowed to date and do anything, basically anything. And when we were building a house, so we lived way out. I don't know how we ended up way out there, but oh yeah, she was trying to find a place that you could rent. Well, actually it was a townhouse, month to month. But anyhow, high school was across the street from the townhouse, and people would party right down in my backyard, because when you came into the complex, my townhouse was the first one there. So they're sitting there having fun. I'm looking out my window, top floor. Hi, having fun. I hope so. Bye-bye. True story. But anyhow, then when there were roller skating parties at school, if my mom couldn't get off for lunch to be there, I couldn't go, so I had to watch everyone. But I got to go next door. And I'm not sure if, well, I know the boy probably doesn't watch me, but his sisters might be. And maybe you don't know the story, so if you don't know, you will find out now. But anyhow, I was trying to find that picture that I could put for the front page thumbnail. The thumbnail, yeah. But I can't find it anymore. Well, I shouldn't say anymore. I can't find it, so it must have been left in my mom's house, and it was taken over when she died. It was, it's a big mess, disaster area, meaning like legally disaster. So anyhow, I wish I had the picture. I thought I had, and I thought I sent it to his sister, but maybe not. I don't know. Too hot for my brain to think right now. But anyhow, so there was a boy named Johnny who lived next door. And I was always at their house. They were like watching me. Sometimes, I don't remember when it started. They started watching me, because I used to be home alone when I was 4 or 5. I think they started watching me when I was 5. And that's when my friend, his sister, went to school. And one day she says, "Why don't you come to school with me?" I said, "Okay." And we did. Oh, that was not fun, because the school called my friend's mom, who called my mom, and my mom must have frantically drove over to school to get me. and was, how could you do this? And then she told my father. My father didn't live with me. My father and mother divorced. My mother's sister was my aunt who raised me, and her husband was my uncle, but I didn't refer to him as father because I had a father. I also had a mother who lived in Canada, but since I lived with my aunt, I referred to her as my mother, but not in front of my father. It's very complicated, but anyhow. So, needless to say, they would kind of keep an eye on me. I think it was during the summer. Yeah, it was, because I remember they had a pool, and I didn't want to jump in the pool, and the only way they let you go in the pool, the mom, she was pretty strict. Nice lady, but strict. You had to jump in, and I didn't want to jump in, but she got me to jump in. But anyhow, hang out there, right? And, well, the main reason I like to hang out, besides being around my friend, oops, almost said her name, don't want to do that, unless she guesses who I'm talking about, or she guesses it's her brother I'm talking about. But anyhow, I like to go over because he had, I don't know if they were called Hot Wheels, or, with all the boys I have, you think I know the name Hot Wheels, or what are the other ones called? Hot Wheels, or, now let's just call them Hot Wheels, since I can't think of the other one because it's all hot here. But anyhow, I love to play with those kind of cars, and when I went over, he would play with the cars with me. Or sometimes I just get to play with them when we were there, because my mom would never buy me one of those. Well, we didn't have a lot of money, but God forbid if we had some money, she would not buy those. What is the other one called? Hot Wheels and... can't think of it. Anyhow, and I love those. So, my mom said to me once, no wonder you had all those boys, because you always wanted to play with those, we call them Hot Wheels. I says, yeah, well, you know, if you let me have Hot Wheels, maybe we wouldn't have had all those boys. Just kidding. Anyhow, so I don't know how this happened, how it came to be and all, but I was in my house, and I think maybe, I almost slipped again, his name. I think the mom was somewhere with the two girls, and the brother, I almost think he was at church. He was somewhere where he was dressed up because he had a shirt on, maybe even a tie, and nice pants. And I think they were going to drop him off at our house until they came home. Because I don't know why else he would have came to our house without his sisters, and he was all dressed up. And that's how it was. But I know we had come home from church, so I was dressed up. We dressed up back in the day. People went to church with respect. I remember the last few years when I was going to church, you know, with my first set of kids, as I call it, my first marriage, and we always dressed up for church. We always did. No one goes to church in jeans. You respect God's house. That's how I ran my family. But anyhow, so that's all I can think of, because I can't imagine why he'd be there dressed up without his sisters with him. But anyhow, he was there, and I had this little Mickey Mouse record player that played those tiny records, and there was a thing in the middle. They weren't the big 33s. I don't know, 78. I don't know what they're called, but something like that. And they had a little thing, and you had to push in the middle, and then there was a stick, not a stick, a metal rod thing, and you put the record down on it. There was a little hole in the middle. This is sounding dirty, but it's not. I'm explaining to you about a record and how you got on the record player. But, you know, when you think about it, it does sound kind of dirty. So get your brain out of the gutter now, okay? I can't help it. That's the only way to describe it. It had this metal rod sticking up. Oh, it's getting more dirty again. You know what I mean, those little records. Anyhow, so I think the song was, what was the song? Pony boy, won't you be my pony boy? Don't say no, here we go. Giddy up, giddy up. No, it's something about Johnny. Johnny said something at the fair. Where has my something? Why is John? Oh, I can't. I was going to put on pause and look it up, but I can't. Oh. Okay, something. Johnny so late to the fair. I don't know. It was something about Johnny. No. Yeah, it was. I don't know. I don't remember the song. But anyhow. So, I was playing. I would listen to records on there. I remember I had a record that was yellow. I don't know what it was. But anyhow, they're little ones. They all had. The big ones didn't have. They had a hole in the middle, but not the round thing around as it just snapped in. I'm sure someone must know what I'm talking about, these records. But anyhow, so he came in our house and all, and of course we had no Hot Wheels. Oh, it almost came to me onto my tongue. But anyhow, so I was playing my songs, and then you had to manually change the record player. It was a they call it turntable. They call it. After a while, when they weren't the thing anymore, and then they were like retro, they cost a lot of money. They called them, I think, turntables. I don't know, but anyhow, mine was a little, I want to say Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck, or I don't know. So you closed it up and it almost looked like a little carry-on suitcase or something. I don't know. That's as good as I could describe it. Remember, my dad bought it for me, I think. So anyhow, the song we put on, I just put on randomly, and it was that song about Johnny. Obviously, that's his name. And just like the guy in the movie. And to me, at that age, that Johnny looked like that Johnny. And I happened to see a picture of this said Johnny. And boy, does he look good. Oh, yeah. Anyhow, hopefully he doesn't watch my channel, because I don't get embarrassed, so. But anyhow, he will find out about what he probably never knew. So anyhow, so I think I had a crush on him, but he didn't know, because I think he was like a year older than me. Not older, younger than me. So I was actually kind of young to be liking boys, but I was like planning my wedding with him, and I don't know if you're one of those little girls, thinking, planning your wedding and your kids and everything. So I had my whole life planned out, and I was so in love with him, because, that's the kind of girl I was. But anyhow, so he was there, and we were playing, listening to my records, and my mom, remember the aunt mom who never let me go out later in life? Of course, I was only young, right? Well, how old could I have been? 6? And he was 5, maybe? I don't know. Something like that. And she says, why don't you dance to this? And it's the kind of dancing where you like the guy puts his arm around the mid-waist of the girl, and the girl puts her hand on his shoulder, and then they take both their hands and lock them together and put them out. Like good dancing, real dancing. That's kind of stuff I was teaching my son. We had a grocery store, and I think every Thursday, Friday, they had a big band. This was before 2020, and every week we would go because they played big band, and I was teaching my son how to dance. Because I taught dancing. Not back then. But anyhow, so I couldn't believe now when I think about it, my mom let me, touch his hand. He's a guy. But yet later, obviously I know, because she's there watching us, what could happen? Nothing, right? But in my little girl mind, who was looking at him like he was a prince or something, the most gorgeous guy in the world, I had planned out everything as we were dancing. But anyhow, he danced with me. We danced, and she took a picture. And there's the picture I was trying to find. But anyhow, I looked him up, and I saw his picture, and like I said, ooh, he looks yummy. Yes, he does, very yummy. I don't know if he's married or whatever, it doesn't say, but he probably looks very yummy because his father was a very good-looking man. So anyhow, that is the second part of that part of the movie. So Baby met Johnny in the movie. Gotta guess the movie. And then my little version of my movie was Sandie met Johnny. So if any of his sisters are watching, or, I better not say that, will give it away, but anyhow, you will know. So your brother was the first love of my life. I thought for sure. But obviously that didn't happen, because I made the wrong choice. But anyhow, I thought that was cute when I was, doing that about the movie. And then I was telling my son, I told him the story about this boy, and how goofy girls are, and I'm not speaking for all girls, me. And I said he probably didn't even know I existed. I just still remember his haircut and everything. That I don't remember. But if I could connect with him, I would ask him if he remembered. Probably not. He probably didn't even know I was alive, right? That's how it usually goes. But I remember like it was yesterday. Sorry about my voice, my allergies, my voice goes. But anyhow, yep, That was the first love of my life. And we danced for 2 songs, and one was something about Johnny. Johnny's too late for the fair. I don't know. I don't remember. This is off the cuff again, but anyhow, yep. That was my first love. Ugh. I wish I would ask my mom more, but back then, who was thinking that, right? I was either wondering how I could get out of the house and go to a school dance, or then later I got married right after high school and I had children. I never thought of that. Now she's gone. May she rest in peace. But, like I always say, ask questions of people that are still here, your family, because one day they won't be here and you won't have those answers, or you have many questions without answers. So, if you're out there, Johnny, you were my first love, and you probably didn't even know I existed. But I thought that was funny, cute. My son got a kick out of it. I was telling, he asked me things, he asked me a lot about, my childhood and, things like that. So it's good. Because of me doing this channel and always telling people, if you still have your parents or your family, ask them questions now, because later you won't be able to. So he thinks up questions to ask me. So yes, that was me, and we were dancing. Oh, and so the movie was about dancing. Yes, and I love to dance, and I've danced since I've been 3, and I taught dancing. So the movie was about dancing. That was what the whole movie was about, the theme of the whole movie. And we were dancing, and ironically, like I said, my mom would never let me go to dances. Well, a couple she did, I guess, when she could be the chaperone. I don't remember, but I do remember going to some, because I remember the boys were on one wall, the girls were against the other wall, and I'm like, what did we come here for and pay money? To stand here, and I would be the one that goes over, and the few friends I could get to go over, and I'd go, come on, and I would ask the guys to dance. And I went to a Catholic school, and they would be like, oh my gosh, the nuns would be, oh my gosh, because, back then, it's got to be the guy has to ask the girl. No, I don't got time for that. I love to dance. That's my thing, is dancing. That's my jam. So, if there's dancing, I'll be asking. If someone doesn't ask me, I'll just go out alone. I did that. I told my friends, I said, either I'm going to go on the dance floor by myself, or you're going to come over with me. And they were like mortified. Oh my God, don't go dance out there by yourself. I would have. I love to dance. So anyhow, but that has nothing to do with the story, but I just thought I'd throw that in there because I love to dance. Maybe on a quiz one day, so remember that. But anyhow, that's my little cute story about the first love of my life, who never knew I even existed. But I was so in love with him, and I don't know. If he knew, if we had gotten married, would life have turned out different? I bet it would, because he came from a good family, good parents, good values. Would have worked out better. So if you're out there and you're available, find me. Okay, enough of that. So I hope you enjoyed this little story. It is true. It is a true story. And, I sometimes just try to think of happy things when I was little, because, it seemed like everything seemed so kind of blah, but I tried to make the best of everything growing up, as I am now. It's all you can do in life, right? So for now, don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs. Come on. We're very close. Come on. It does not cost you anything. You just slam that subscribe button, press the like button, and comment. Comment on my story that warms my heart. This cute little girl with her cute little guy dancing to a song I do not remember. We were both dressed up. And I don't know whatever became of him. So, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Story, I said. So anyhow, be kind to people you don't know what they're going through. Pay it forward if you can, and be the reason someone smiles today. Because you know what? It's easier to smile than frown, and smiling makes everyone feel better. So for now, I hope you enjoyed listening to Sandie Meets Johnny. Thanks for watching. Hugs to you all. Is it your first hug for the day or not? And now, of course, I will end it with toodles and hope this contraption shuts off. Let us see. No, it does not. Lettuce. I heard the word lettuce, like lettuce you eat, so I try that word now. Let's just see when this thing turns off. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed me sharing a part of my heart. Bye for now. Let's see, is it going to shut off?